I get it, you're standing in the kitchen, coffee beans in hand, and the whole idea of dropping a few $100s on a grinder feels like a gamble. You've probably seen a ton of glossy ads promising the perfect shot every time, but then you wonder if the machine will sit quietly on the counter, actually let you dial in that micrometric grind, and not end up as a noisy, space-eating eyesore. That hesitation is real, especially when you're trying to decide whether a professional-grade grinder is worth it for a home setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started looking into the Simonelli MDXS on-demand digit, I treated it the same way I would any other big coffee purchase. I read the specs, skimmed through the few user ratings, and imagined the grinder in the exact spot where I pull my daily espresso. The MDXS isn't just another entry-level burr grinder. It's positioned as a commercial-style unit that promises ultra-quiet operation and a digital micrometric adjustment system. Those two claims are what caught my eye because they directly address the pain points most home baristas complain about: noise and grind consistency. Let's talk about the real-world setup first. The MDXS is a fairly tall, stainless steel box that sits on the counter, similar in footprint to a small dishwasher. That means you'll need a dedicated spot, preferably near your espresso machine and a power outlet. The weight is noticeable. You can't just pick it up and move it around without a little effort. For me, that solid feel actually translates to stability. There's no wobble when the burrs spin at high speed, which is something you'll notice with cheaper, lighter grinders that tend to vibrate. Installation is straightforward. You plug it in, run through the on-screen calibration, and you're ready to grind. No extra tools, no complicated wiring. The on-demand feature works by pulling a lever that releases a single dose of coffee, so you don't have to pre-dose a hopper and risk beans sitting stale for hours. Now, the noise level. Most grinders I've used in a home kitchen sound like a small power tool, and that can be jarring first thing in the morning or late at night. The MDXS advertises extremely quiet operation, and in practice, it lives up to the claim. While I won't say it's silent, the sound is more of a low hum, barely audible over a conversation. That's a huge practical win if you share space with a roommate, a partner who sleeps late, or even just don't want to start a morning with a jackhammer on the counter. Micrometric grind adjustment is where the digital display shines. Instead of turning a knob and guessing where the next increment lands, you use the digitized scale to set a precise grind size down to the micron. In everyday use, that means you can dial in a setting for a short ristretto, then shift a few microns for a longer pour-over without hunting. The interface is a simple rotary dial paired with an LCD that shows the exact setting. It's intuitive enough that you don't need a coffee engineering degree, but precise enough that you can keep a log of your preferred numbers for different beans. For anyone who's serious about tweaking extraction, that granularity is a genuine time saver. What about the coffee itself? The grinder uses high-quality burrs that are built for commercial throughput. In my tests with a medium roast and a darker blend, the particle distribution was consistent, which translated into a steady espresso flow and a balanced flavor profile. I didn't notice the bloom of fines that cheaper grinders sometimes produce. This consistency is what most users care about when they talk about repeatable shots, and the MDXS delivers it without you having to stare at a screen of numbers. Of course, no machine is perfect. One practical weakness is the cleaning routine. Because the burrs are housed inside a sealed metal box, you can't just pop them out and brush them clean like you might with a hand crank grinder. The manufacturer recommends a weekly brush out of the grind chamber and a periodic deep clean that involves disassembling a few panels. For a home barista who wants a quick wipe down after a few days of use, that can feel a bit more involved. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something to factor into your schedule. Another consideration is the price. The Simonelli MDXS sits in a higher price bracket than many consumer grinders. If you're only pulling a single cup a day and are happy with a decent manual grinder, you might not see the return on investment. However, if you're running a small office coffee corner, a side hustle espresso service, or simply love the ritual of dialing in and hearing the quiet grind, the value starts to make sense. The durability and commercial-grade burrs mean you won't be replacing the unit in a few years, which spreads the cost over a longer lifespan. So who should buy it? If you're a home espresso enthusiast who already owns a decent machine, cares about noise, and wants a grinder that lets you